Zippity zimba beat bop boop. What in the world is happening? You know, everyone who doesn't watch regularly is probably just wondering what the heck just happened, and rightly so. But we are going to have CaSh as the blue black hand on the left side, and cRoNic as the red GDI on the right side. Tournament Rift. Oh, Tournament Rift, why do so many games get played on you? I know it's because it's a great map, but at the same time, sometimes I wish people would just play other maps. Just do other things, but I would not be surprised at all. Yep, 3 engineers. You know why? Because Cabal squads are so good. So good. He's going to need a ridiculous amount of rifleman squads to take these Cabal squads, unless of course they get the garrisons first, and then he would have to wait for that Black Disciples upgrade, which he's already going for, so never mind. Even if he gets garrisons, it's going to be difficult to beat these Cabal squads, because right in a few seconds we are going to see Black Disciples right there bringing up and already selling off that secret shrine because he does not need it anymore. Of course, that is quite expensive to do. That is like 2,000 to 3,000 credits that's just gone. Boom. Right there, you're done. But setting up Foxhole in the middle, very interesting, because he's like, hey, if you try and take this blue, I will know about it. And regrouping his Cabal squads just before heading in. Did I even mention who CaSh is? CaSh is Black Hand. cRoNic, I don't even remember if I introduced the players. cRoNic is going to be GDI right on the right side, and sniping that rifleman squad right there, and the engineers need to run over here and grab these spikes. Just kidding! Because cRoNic is just too sneaky for CaSh. He was able to grab that spike. I almost said grab that squad, but that's just not right. Grab that spike, which means he gets his money back, at least for one of the engineers, and this pit bull will go down as soon as he gets in range of that flame squad right there. Flame weapons do so much damage to pit bulls and to attack bikes, so keep that in mind. Okay. Garrisoning buildings. Oh yeah, because that rifleman squad on the high ground could have sniped those engineers. So good paying attention by CaSh to what in the world is happening. He knew what was going to happen, and a little scouting squad up here. So it's always good to position one of your first infantry squads along the front side along the top side of the map, or send them in through the top to see exactly what your opponent is doing. Also, not a bad idea to position a squad down here so you see when they're expanding, you get that timing and taking that foxhole. So now CaSh is like, hey, if you try and harvest the blue, I will know about it, and going to be jettisoning that squad from there and heading in with the attack bikes. Is it going to be good enough? He will be able to take down one and maybe even two. Both, actually, he was able to take down both of those pit bulls. And oh, the micro out of cRoNic, will it be good enough to hold these bikes off? I think so. Reverse moving in just the right ways. No, it's not going to be good enough. Even that front armor not going to be enough, but two pit bulls are now out, which means they will chase these bikes away. Was that worth it for CaSh? He was able to snipe 2 pit bulls and a harvester partially full of credit of Tiberium. I think that was worth it, and even getting a few more pot shots off on cRoNic's units. And he's even going to get a scouting trip in, and he's going to see the MCV, and he will probably see the timing of that refinery, so he'll know exactly what is going on. But he himself needs to expand to match this, because he has not done enough economic damage. If he would have taken out 2 harvesters, that would have been close to doing enough economic damage to not expand right away. But he absolutely needs to move this MCV, probably going to be throwing down a second ref up here and then moving along his merry way. And will he take the middle, or will he go for the southern expansion? We are about to see, going to be up to 5 and 2, which is a good ratio to have. Throwing down a power plant just so his production doesn't stall. Never mind, he's building something else, possibly an operations center. He needs to do massive damage right now. CaSh needs to do something to cement his position in this game, because this is Kane's Wrath, not Tiberium Wars. You only get 10 credits a second out of those spikes. It is only 30 credits a second out of those 3 spikes, not 75. Which 75 credits a second is so awesome to have. But it looks like he doesn't want to be taking down this spike, because he might have plans to capture it, but I would recommend just taking that down, especially with that Black Hand squad. It will not take too long. Oh, just kidding. It's almost like CaSh is like, oh, okay, I'll just take it down now, because actually I feed players information. I have a time machine, so I watch a replay, then I go back in time and tell them exactly what to do to win the game. which would be kind of crazy because, you know, you have a time machine and you're like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna use it to help people play video games. Not better, just help them to win, because it's effectively just like super advanced cheating. And that's what I want to do with my life. Some of us have, you know, problems with setting goals, and just take out the power plant, man. Okay, never mind. Commit to something, CaSh. Losing a couple of attack bikes, was it worth it? Because he did lose more in terms of credits, because those power plants are pretty cheap, but he was able to take this harvester off, do some damage to it, and look, it is still not harvesting Tiberium. It could have gotten a full load of Tiberium, and that is 1,400 credits that cRoNic is missing out on. So there is so much to think about. But Flame Squads, I am finally going to be moving out. I was going to say, if he doesn't move out here, I'm just going to say cRoNic will win the game, because his economy will be so far beyond what CaSh will be able to deal with. CaSh not even going to be able to get that Tiberium spike, but since he's expanding, his macro will not be too far behind cRoNic's, but he is going for so many bikes and 3 flame tanks. I thought he was only going to be going for 2, but he will be going for 3. And oh, instant veteran status, because, hey, he's Black Hand. I always forget about that, but instant veteran status, which is so nice, just doing a little bit more damage. Probably getting a little bit of an armor buff. No, actually, I don't think they do. I think it's just a damage output. And, of course, getting you one step immediately closer to not free kills, because there's quite a bit of defense here, especially with this watchtower, which watchtowers, you may not think that they'd be doing very much damage, but because attack bikes have so little HP, that if you're just not attacking them, they will take out a couple of bikes pretty easy, and especially if they have that AP ammo upgrade, these 2 watchtowers should be enough to scare these bikes away, especially with these predators here. And again, he lost so many bikes here. I don't know if that was worth it, because he lost probably a third to half of his bikes and going to be losing a couple more, although only losing 2 there and able to snipe a predator tank. Even so, I don't think that was worth it, because he wasn't able to snipe any harvesters, which would have been the important thing, and he wasn't able to even cause those watchtowers to be, you know, well, not to be sold off, but to be destroyed. So he wasn't able to do a whole lot there. And where are those flame tanks? Were they ever able to do anything? I don't think so. They might have all got taken out by those pit bulls or predator tanks, but I am not sure. No, I do think they did get taken out. They are nowhere on the map, but oh, so many attack bikes. CaSh, you are going to make it work. Sniping 3 orcas. Oh, that has to hurt poor cRoNic right now. He is just like, what? I had 3 orcas, and then 2 seconds I had none. Wow, that was just such perfect timing, and one Black Hand squad actually doing splash damage to yourself. cRoNic, you just suffered a couple of slight setbacks, although I wouldn't say taking 3 orcas. Why are you reverse moving? Get out of there, losing 1 predator tank to basically reverse move silliness, which is the official name. That's a technical term that all the pros use, and these attack bikes going to be swinging around. Is that really his full force? It seems like he has more attack bikes that are, he's got a couple more, but okay, that's not too bad. I guess they were just a little bit spread out. And is he going to be able to snipe that predator tank? Yes, effectively, and he could even do some massive damage to this war factory. Look at that, even just one pass being split between 2 buildings, almost able to take that war factory down to half health. If he commits here, just commit a little bit, CaSh, just a little bit, and take down that war factory. He could have done that with minimal losses, because cRoNic was like, hey, I don't want to mess with that many bikes. But oh, he's going to snipe a couple of predator tanks. 3 kills almost right there. He did take a little bit of damage, but nothing too serious. Able to push forward with some infantry as well, so not doing too shabby. CaSh, 30 credits a second. I said it's not much, but it is adding up over time. Going to be 1,800 credits a minute, which is not too shabby at all. Not too shabby at all. 1,800 credits, what is that? That's a couple more Scorpion tanks, or almost. It's an extra harvester, which is in turn an extra 1,400 credits. So, you know, right there. 3 over a minute. 3, what in the world are these called? Tiberium spikes going to be adding up, but these 6, oh man, these orcas, I do not want to see them just instantly go down, although it is kind of awesome to see that much power, that much damage output just so fast. And oh, even going to be moving in, so he's like, hey, look over here. Oh, just kidding, you have a massive army moving out. I guess I'll pull back with my bikes. But going to be setting up the front line. Is this his only MCV? So no dual obelisks, actually not even up to that tier 3 yet, so impossible to be throwing down those dual obelisks. But he's going to be leading the attack with his infantry, which, oh, cRoNic, turn your tanks around, start doing the damage to the stuff that's killing you. Able to snipe a couple of free bikes there, but that is not going to be enough. And is he going to get the flank? No, CaSh turns him around because he has driven this army back. He got into the driving seat and he was like, hey, we are going into R, which surprisingly does not stand for race, but S stands for splash damage because those harvesters stacked, and now he is going to get snipe or shot after shot off on these orcas, able to take them all down and even able to get a veteran bike. Where is it? Heroic bike, right? Selected, right there. I wasted way too much time selecting, but he was able to take out 3 harvesters, I believe, do massive damage to a 4th, but losing 6 orcas, I don't know if that was worth it. He does have AP ammo, so those APCs are going to be doing quite a bit more damage, and also the watchtowers are going to be far more effective versus bikes, but the hero bike going to be leading the attack. He is not afraid. He is not afraid, I should say. He is without fear leading the attack and going to be able to snipe an extra APC. And the harvester as well will go down right there. Almost a one-shot from these bikes. And oh, engaging with your orcas. Is this a good move, cRoNic? Actually, not. That was almost a completely neutral move. He wasn't able to snipe the hero bike. Snipe the hero bike. I cannot speak today. I don't know what the deal is. But he didn't lose an orca either. So, I don't even know what to say about that. Anyways, oh, going to be able to take down a single scouting infantry squad, and I think cRoNic, I think this will be it for him, because how in the world is he going to hold off this much infantry? And then also, wherever the attack bikes went. But look at these just like lines of infantry. CaSh is really into lines right now. He's like, hey, we're going to have like formations of infantry, and it's going to be a ridiculous amount of infantry. Just look at how much infantry he's got, and the orca is going to be taking some damage from those infantry, and he's trying to make this work. He's trying to do some sniping, and he will be able to hit one of the harvesters, get it down quite quickly, and then go for at least 2 more, I would think, with 6 orcas. If he's smart about his bombs, and actually exactly almost perfect micro there. So is he going to be able to get all of them? No, so close. Oh yes, he will. 4 harvesters, so cRoNic, don't count him out yet, and he's still got a couple bombs left. Hard points going to be the order of the day. So many bombs, but losing all of those orcas, but no. So many rockets just came out of nowhere. He was able to snipe 5 harvesters, so those hard points definitely paying for themselves. And is he going to still kind of try and stick with these orcas? Yes, he is. He's trying to make it work. I don't think that's the right choice, but what other choice does he have? At least with the orcas, he can snipe some stuff pretty quickly, but not engaging with single units at a time is not what you want to be doing. And even attack bikes here for their radar, for their stealth detection, but so many rocket squads. I wish I could select these to see just how many he has, but the crush isn't going to be good enough. He's going to crush so many rocket troops right there. Oh, making it work. cRoNic, I thought you were done for, but the attack up here not going to be freaking out my mouse is exactly what it's going to be. Sorry about that. Was probably just like a lag spike right there. But cRoNic, what in the world just happened? You were able to totally just crush that army, and too much micro for him to handle. CaSh was like, all right, I'll just, you know, like attack move these units over here, and then I'll micro my attack bikes up here, and I'll just totally do a bunch of damage. And cRoNic was like, hey, no, you don't want to watch these infantry down here? Okay, I'll just crush them all. But that's exactly what happens when you try and do those crazy flank attacks. You're going to have to only focus on one thing at a time, because you can only give your attention to one thing at a time. Even if you switch between them really fast, it's only one at a time, just switching really fast. And no one's touched this field, which I feel like CaSh could have secured this field quite a while ago. Instead, he's like, hey, I want more money. I want that 2,800 credits per load. And get those orcas out of there. Just stop taking damage. cRoNic, no! Orcas down. So many down, and even more. These remaining 2 will go down. I do not know if that was worth it. Only able to snipe 2 harvesters, which, you know, kind of slowed down the economy a bit because he's been sniping so many harvesters. This would have been such a safer move. He would have been able to snipe 5, 6 harvesters there without any worry about attacks. Well, actually without worry about attacks for like 15 seconds. but the bikes will go down. He is just going to tank this damage. CaSh is going to lose all of these bikes right here. He should have pulled them back and let his infantry do the damage to that refinery, and then from there chose if he wanted to move in and engage. Those bikes were almost a waste. Almost a waste. Not quite. But do we have sniper rifle APC combo? That is exactly what we do see. I was wondering if they were actually inside of the APCs. Not going to be inside, but oh, militant rocket squad's going to be getting taken out, and he needs to have at least 2 watchtowers there in combination with the crushing tanks, but he has nothing, which means these buildings are going to almost instantly fall, especially if those rocket squads get in close. Black Hand infantry so powerful. Even more so with that purifying flame, which unfortunately for CaSh he does not have, but able to take down the airfield almost instantly and going for that tier 2 as well, although, which means no more Orcas, although the AP ammo, oh, is the Orca strike going to be good enough? It is huge! One of the most, I don't even know what I'm going to say there, I set that sentence up horribly, but one of the most effective Orca strikes I have possibly ever seen, because that basically saved his base. That one watchtower was not going to be enough, especially with those Black Hand members there. Not going to be enough to take out all of those infantry, but that Orca strike was so perfect. He was able to hold them in position with that watchtower. But now, cRoNic, I thought you were out of it. Honestly, I was like, CaSh has got this game. He's got way too many infantry. But then that flank attack, that pincer attack with those 2 armies going at the same time, it was just not enough because cRoNic was able to crush those infantry, and he's made a comeback. CaSh is not out of this in any way. I always have to clarify that so that I don't, just try and say, oh, this player has this huge advantage and they're going to win, and then the other player makes a comeback and I totally look like a fool, because that happens not too often anymore. But originally I did try and make predictions, and then I just stopped because I was almost always wrong. But cRoNic going to be making a comeback with those APCs. Such a good move. Needs to pull this back so he doesn't instantly lose it to the flame tank, because if it takes damage. But no, just kidding. The flame tank is like, hey guys, I'm just over here. Explode me, which that death animation, possibly the coolest one in Kane's Wrath and Tiberium Wars. But oh, so these infantry just instantly sniped by those APCs, not even able to get a single shot off. And this Black Hand member is like, hey, I'm the only guy who survived. I'm the cool kid on the block, mostly because I'm the only guy on the block still alive. But the flame tanks, are they going to be getting up? Get these Orcas off the ground right now. cRoNic, micro, back here, pull back. Oh, yes, he was able to do it. He should be able to snipe both of these tanks, assuming they are both full on rockets, which they are. But now the airfield is down. Can he get one down fast enough to save those Orcas? cRoNic fast enough on the mouse to be able to take care of this army out here and still take care of those flame tanks. He was building base defenses and placing them, but now he is out of power, going to be throwing down another power plant, but he's down to tier 1. Luckily, these Orcas, luckily for him, these Orcas do not have, or luckily for him, the Orcas still have bombs, and these sniper teams being way too effective. CaSh going to be losing quite a few units. They're just out of range there, though, so they're not going to be doing too much damage. And did I see... Wait a second, did I see that supercharged, or that charged particle beam? I don't think so, because there's no tier 3. And oh, the sniper team's going to get assassinated themselves, going to get sniped, I guess you could say, themselves. But the Predator tanks, will they be enough to save it? Never mind, not getting sniped. So cRoNic saving his units and reverse moving. cRoNic, what in the world is happening with this reverse move? You're just like, hey, let me reverse move into danger so that I take maximum damage to the rear armor. But cRoNic not in too bad a shape. CaSh is going to be able to do massive damage. cRoNic's not careful. Oh, and the stacking not quite good enough for CaSh to do maximum damage, but that physics engine stacking sometimes is just too good. And will he get another kill off of these units? No, he's going to send his heroic APC forward and snipe the heroic rocket squad out of its life, and then pull back that APC and let his Predator tanks tank some of that damage. While the APC does damage, good micro out of cRoNic. I have to say that was a very well microed maneuver right there, letting his APC deal the damage, draw the army out, and then rolling in with his tanks. And oh, able to snipe another one. So the focus firing going to be almost perfect out of CaSh. Actually, in that engagement, it was perfect. Able to snipe 2 tanks when he could have been attacking another tank over here, or going for that APC, which he wasn't going to be able to kill. And CaSh, does he have enough money? Does he have enough cash? Wow, I completely missed that play on words opportunity. Oh, snipe it, snipe the flame tank. It will take you down. CaSh can you do it? Can you do it? 2 flame tanks. Is it going to be good enough? The Orcas, will they have enough bombs? Oh, but, oh, cRoNic doing so much damage. Can he take down the tier 2? No, he's not going to be able to. Not fast enough. So close to being able to just crush cRoNic there. cRoNic was. Those Orcas really just saving his base for the second time. cRoNic, can you do it? Can you bring home the win? Losing another harvester there, losing, I believe, 3 right there, but with that tier 2 surviving, that command post able to throw down another airfield and keep his Orcas alive. Those probably would have been dead. They probably did use the rest of their bombs there, but no more Orca bombing runs. However, cRoNic still does have those 30 credits a second versus only the 10 credits a second that cRoNic has. cRoNic sniper teams being so effective. That was such a good move. He has definitely got his worth out of those 2 sniper teams. Just sell it off at this point. cRoNic, you need the money, and he's trying to make these flame tanks work, and they haven't worked. He should have moved all 3 out together, I think, because if he would have... Oh, he does actually have 4 out. I thought he only had 3. So he is going to be splitting them up into 2 groups. That is not a bad idea, because he can basically move around the entire bottom of the map. And how many flame tanks does he even have? 6? Let's see, that's going to be 3, 7, I guess? Yeah, I guess he's got 7, maybe even 8 at this point. Yep, going to have 8 and then pump scorpion tanks, but he needs to hide the flame tanks. That's the only way this is going to work, is if he's able to sufficiently hide the flame tanks. And cRoNic, what in the world are you doing not re-expanding? He could have seen this coming quite a while ago, but the Orcas are already in the air, which means these flame tanks will not be very effective. I don't think, unless he's not paying attention, cRoNic turn these Orcas around, and oh no, the flame tank's going to be able to do enough damage, and will they get the MCV? No, not quite, but is the flank attack good enough? Yes, it is. Oh, man, cRoNic going to be able to do massive damage, taking out the airfield and the tier 2, that command post going down, but it's not going to be good enough to take down the MCV. And oh, the other flame tanks gave themselves away. There's one more down here, and it may be waiting to move in at the last moment. Oh, and the Orcas are all out of bombs. This could be it for cRoNic. He needs to crush cRoNic right now if he's going to survive, but he's not going to. The MCV, the last building standing, can he put something down? Even a power plant would delay his death a little bit longer. No, he's not going to. He is going to lose right here, right now. This is going to be it for cRoNic. There's no way he can win unless he's got some buildings hidden, which I have not seen. That is going to be it. cRoNic, so close to winning, but in the end, cRoNic. Surprisingly, I thought cRoNic was going to be able to take it back, and then I saw those 8 flame tanks, and I was like, no, cRoNic can take this game. So good on cRoNic, able to take cRoNic, which cRoNic is no scrub, and look at that. That shows you he is no scrub. Playing against cRoNic, cRoNic able to make it work. I completely forgot to check Smurfs, that's what they're called. I can't, man, names are not working today. Brain is not working either because I can't remember names. But cRoNic able to just come ahead in that last part of the game because cRoNic, he didn't re-expand. He just stayed on that bottom field, and that was probably his biggest mistake. I think he would have been able to crush cRoNic if he would have re-expanded because there was so much Tiberium in his starting field. But anyways, look at that unit kill to death ratio. I don't know if cRoNic is actually a different player that I do know of, but I haven't heard of cRoNic. This is going to be it for this game. Let's take a quick look at these graphs in case anyone wants them, but just resources out of cRoNic going to be enough. That's how he was able to do it. This is Sybert signing out.